everybody, I'm Cheebs. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I do a lot of solo backpacking, camping, and hiking. And today's video, I am going solo backpacking just for one night in the mountains of California in nearly freezing temperatures. It was a fun little trip and I'm so excited for you to watch this video. And if you liked the video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe if you want to watch more adventures like this in the future. Thanks! Not the prettiest day I've ever hiked, but I'm properly packed with all of the things I need to stay warm and dry. We're gonna do a quick little overnight trip. Rain's starting to pick up a little bit, but I anticipated this would happen. So I've already got my rain cover over my backpack, so none of my stuff will get wet, hopefully. I feel like the dreariness of today makes it a little prettier. This trail is stunning. It's not a long trail, but it's a lot of vertical gain. And you're pretty much walking up the whole way, which seems to be the theme for the trails I pick. The way the light is just hitting those foggy mountains, it's enough to make you tear up a little bit. Gosh. Oh man. I want to say what a beautiful day. And I think objectively, it's not the most beautiful day in terms of weather. But dang, as long as I'm relatively dry and warm, surrounded by pretty views, I'm a happy girl. I'm a very happy girl. It also smells like, you know the smell where it's raining and it's combining with the earth and you kind of get that wet earth smell and a hint of ionization from the rain. It's called petrichor. That's the name for it. And it smells so good. It's like top 3 favorite smells in the whole world. I love it. I'm gonna try to pick up the pace a little bit faster. I got a very late start to this hike and the sun is gonna set in a couple of hours. The days are getting rapidly shorter here, so I wanna make sure I can get there and have plenty of time to set up camp because I hate setting up camp in the dark, so try to avoid it at all costs. So I'm gonna push myself a little bit and get up there as quick as I can. Uh-oh. That would be snow. We are absolutely going to find some snow at the top. I'm confident in that. Hey. Hello. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, you're all wet. You're all wet. Do you hear that? So we're right next to a ski resort. I'm sitting here walking and I start to hear a voice from above. Let me tell you, I did not know what was happening for a second. Whoa, this is cool. Yup, there is snow, but at least it's not snowing. I don't mind if there's snow, just don't really want it to be snowing. Thankfully it's not cold enough for it to be snowing, and I don't think it will ever get to a point where it will be cold enough to start snowing. So I think we're almost there. Let's see what this little sign says. Just no camping within 300 feet of water, which, yes, makes sense. All right, now I've downloaded the trail on AllTrails because I think depending on how much snow there is, the trail might get buried in the snow and it might get confusing. Hold on, I have to show you the tiniest little footprints you've ever seen in your life. And that would be from a squirrel. I've been keeping an eye out to see what kind of animals have been gallivanting about, but so far all I've seen are those prints, dog prints, and human footprints. Oh man, okay. Is that better? I love shoulder season for this reason. It is not too horribly cold for me to still go outside and adventure, but I still get to feel like I'm in a little bit of a winter wonderland. This is just how my brain works, constantly comparing stuff to video games, but I feel like I am walking around through Skyrim in real life right now. My toes are feeling a little wet, but other than that, I'm really dry, thankfully. So I don't know if you can see, but when you look at my pants, see how the water's like almost beading? That's what you want to look for with, oh god, I just stepped in a massive puddle. Yikes. That's what you want to look for in weatherproof or waterproof clothing. Is you want to look for a material where the water just beads off, because it'll take a significant amount of moisture to actually soak through these pants. I love these. And then this jacket, this is a cheap jacket I got off of Amazon. I got it for my backpacking trip in Peru. And I don't know why, in my brain I was like, yeah, I'm going backpacking in the rainy season. I'm going to get a cheap rain jacket from Amazon. I don't know what my thought process was, but evidently it was a good thought process, because this jacket kept me dry for the entirety of that trip, and it rained every day. And there was one day where we hiked for 14 miles and it rained pretty much the whole day. And it did the job. Okay, I've made it to the lake, and wow, is it stunning. It's almost creating like a perfect mirror effect because it's so still. Not too shabby. I will say I'm not gonna hang out too long and dilly-dallying. There will be no dilly-dallying by the pretty lake right now because I have to find me a campsite. Now, you're not allowed to camp within 300 feet of a water source. The reason for that is because they don't want human contamination. You know what I'm talking about. So, we will not be camping within 300 feet of the lake because we respect rules. All I want, really, is just a nice flat spot. That's about the only priority. Okay. I think I've picked out my campsite. This is flat enough and it's far enough away from the water. And I think I'm happy with this. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop pack, and I'm just gonna get my tent set up as quickly as possible, because now that I'm not moving, I am going to start getting very cold. So, oh, my penis were falling down. Oh man, okay. All right, so the sleeping bag is a little wet. All right. Okay, there we have it. Tent has been set up. I don't think I've ever set up a tent that fast in my life, but there are some precarious clouds rolling in that look like it might rain some more. So I just wanted to make sure I had a nice dry shelter to hunker down in if need be. So now I'm gonna take my sleeping bag, sleeping pad, everything that needs to stay dry, that's crucial in staying dry. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in there because it's gonna get cold. And the thing is, I don't mind being cold. I don't mind being wet. I don't like being those things at the same time. I can even just feel it with my sweat. The sweat that I accumulated underneath all of this on the hike up, it's starting to get cold as it's trying to dry. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and put all my stuff in my tent. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and hide the bear bag now. And I mean, you'll find a bunch of different opinions on what you should do with your bear bag. This one has been approved by the name of an organization I'm forgetting, but basically they give grizzly bears stuff and they're like, here, try to break through this. And if they can, then it's not approved. If they can't, then it's approved. And you want to make sure, if you have this one in particular, this one is called an Ursack. And I have used the bear canister. I like either one, honestly. I don't really have a preference, but this one was smaller and just easier for overnight trips. So I have all of my scentables in here, including my toothpaste and my deodorant. And you're going to want to do a double overhand knot. And just tie it close like that and try to make sure that the hole is small enough that the bear can't see or get into it. Now the thing with like bear canisters and Ursacks and bear bags, yeah, you want to try to make it difficult for the bear to like access it, but bears are nosy. They'll climb trees. They'll like dig into things. If they want to get something, they'll get it. So it's just having a canister that they're not able to open, because you don't want to positively reinforce the bear, because then they become socialized with humans, and that's when you get into precarious situations. And most importantly, that puts the bear at risk. So you don't want to do that. We want to protect our wildlife. I am gonna put my gloves on. It is getting chilly. So the sun is gonna set pretty soon here. It's gonna get very dark very quickly. And I normally would be super hungry for dinner, but I'm just not. I think I ate a huge meal right before I came on this trip. And I'm like just surprisingly not that hungry. And trust me, like if I were hungry, I would definitely eat. But I'm not feeling it right now, and I don't want to. My thought process is I don't want to heat up an entire meal and then not be able to finish it. And then what do I do with the food? You know, when I'm making meals in the backcountry, I need to eat all of it so there's as little waste as possible. So I'm just gonna go ahead and skip dinner. I have some snacks. I'll probably just like munch on some dates and stuff, but I don't want to eat inside my tent. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put on my base layers and cozy in the tent, listen to an audiobook and hunker down. I don't really feel like spending too much time outside of the tent this trip, just because of the weather, you know, but that's okay. Because we got some beautiful, gorgeous scenic outside time on the way up, and we'll get some in the morning. Hopefully we'll get some sunlight hitting our camp and it'll be a little bit more pleasant. So I'm still getting used to vlogging. Nothing of what I just did I recorded, but I've got my pajamas on. I have my base layers, which are 100% merino wool, my hat, my gloves, my down booties, which is one of the best camping purchases I've made for cold weather camping. They're like little sleeping bags for your tootsies. They keep me nice and warm, and they have like a barrier on the bottom so I can walk outside with them. So I'm going to do one of my favorite cold weather camping hacks, and that is I'm going to heat up my sleeping bag before I crawl into it for the night. Also, this pad comes in handy right now because I can sit comfortably on the ground. I'm not getting wet, I'm not getting cold. It's so nice. It's the little things that you may not even think about. Okay, so I've got my handy dandy Jetboil here. And I'm gonna go ahead and stuff that inside of my sleeping bag. So when it's time for me to cozy up, my sleeping bag will be nice and toasty and warm. And then I'm gonna do this one more time before I go to bed. The main thing is you just wanna make sure, like triple, double check that it's not leaking, because that would not be good. So excited to crawl into that later. Nice, yes! Oh man, that's gonna be cozy warm to crawl into later. That sun went down so fast, it got so dark so quick. So I'm just gonna lay in here and listen to my audiobook for the rest of the night. Oh, well, my lantern just died. I think that is my cue to go to bed. But yeah, I will see you all in the morning, and hopefully we stay toasty warm tonight. Good morning. Oh man. The weird part of vlogging is setting up the camera and then emulating waking up so I can create the best immersion for you. I'm having a problem. I have a big problem right now. My problem is that this sleeping bag is so toasty warm and it's so cold outside of it. My water bottle's still warm though. Like she had one job and she did it well. I am snug as a bug in a rug. I don't want to get up. But there is one very enticing thought that is helping me get out of the sleeping bag, and that's warm coffee and warm breakfast. Okay, yes, it's happening. It's happening. Ooh. Okay, it's not too bad so far, honestly. But hey, just some quick morning thoughts as I'm thinking them. Completely dry, and it did rain last night. Look at this chunk of ice. Wow! As my dad would say, good morning, sunshine. The earth says hello. I think that's originally a Willy Wonka quote or something. Let's go ahead and check out the food stash. In mint condition. I'm not surprised. I didn't really anticipate anything trying to get into it because everything is kind of hunkering down for the winter right now, so. No. Dang it. Still getting the hang of this vlogging thing. Oh wow, what a beautiful morning it is. Hold on, This might be my favorite part of camping is the morning time. I love breakfast, I love coffee. It's so cozy to me. I just have instant crappy coffee, but thankfully, like, I'm enough of a degenerate that even if it's bad coffee, it's good coffee to me. It smells delightful. Oh, perfect. Yes! Yes! Oh, I'm the happiest camper right now. I'm gonna go ahead and make my oatmeal. Oh, I have hot chalky too? I forgot I brought hot chalky. Dang it, dude. That would have been so nice before bed. Frick. That's okay. Also, one thing, I guess, that's worth noting. When I'm backpacking, especially, I don't really, I'm not strict with like, oh, this is an unhealthy food. Oh, this has too much sugar. Because when I'm burning excessive calories, especially like on a thru hike or something like that, want calorically dense foods and sugars. So like this maple brown sugar oatmeal, very sweet, very high in sugar, but I don't give a care. Okay. Wow, that sun's starting to come out. Yes. It is silly. It is just silly how much the sun positively impacts my mood. Also, if you're curious as to what I would have eaten for dinner last night had I been hungry, I have some chili mac with beef, soy sauce with macaroni, beef, and beans. Mountain House Adventurous Meals. The backpacking meals are expensive. I prefer to bring stuff that's cheaper, but I just had this. I had this left over from a backpacking trip many moons ago, and I just never used it. I've got some pitted dates. Oh, yep. Oh, hot. I want to go take a stroll with my coffee. Wonder if you're allowed to fish in this lake. I don't see any signs that say no fishing. I think this is the actual definition of serenity. This was worth sleeping in cold temperatures right here. This view made it all worth it. And the coffee too. The coffee helped a lot. My legs are yelling at me a little bit walking back up to camp. I could definitely use some stretching. And if it were a warm summer morning, I would. Not doing that in the cold. I'll go home and do that. Speaking of, I think it's time to pack up camp and skedaddle on out of here. Now, if it were sunnier, I would take off this rain fly and I would lay it to dry before packing it up. But it's just not sunny. So I'm gonna try to shake it off as much as I can, pack it up. It's still gonna be moist, but when I go back home, I'm gonna take it out and just lay it out to dry as best as I can, because otherwise, if you pack it up when it's wet and it stays wet, it'll collect mildew, and you don't want that, especially if you spent a decent chunk of change on your camping gear. I was rummaging through my pocket. I was putting my puffy away, and I found some coca toffee from Peru, because apparently the last time I wore this puffy was when I was in Peru. Backpack all packed up. Now I'm just gonna do a walkabout. Make sure I didn't accidentally leave anything behind by chance, because you want to leave the place you camped in a state as if you were never there. Leave no trace policies. And that's a whole other conversation video. But if you're interested in the leave no trace policies, there are a plethora of YouTube videos, informative videos out there that can help you learn about what to do and what not to do. Hi. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Hi. Hi. Good morning.
Did you freeze last night?
No, surprisingly, it wasn't too bad.
Oh, yay!
Enjoy. Thanks. Yeah, that feels nice. Thankfully, it's a lot easier coming down, which isn't always the case. Sometimes when it's really steep, it can be very hard on your joints, and in that case, hiking poles are great. I should be using hiking poles when I go backpacking, just to get ahead of the game in protecting my joints for the long run. We did it! We made it! I am back home warm and dry with a nice bowl of ramen and some bread to dip in the broth. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on this adventure with me. If you want more adventures like that in the future, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time. Bye.